what comes to mind when you hear the name Butch Carpenter? What comes to mind for you, Nico?
Yeah, if I had to sum it up in one word, it would probably be like legendary. It's one thing to make an immediate impact on your peers. It's another thing to leave a long-lasting impact on your peers, and one that others would want to honor you by way of endowing your scholarship or just making the impact that you've had on them felt throughout their life's work.
Hi, I'm Ron Jess for Jessfor30. Today we're doing a show different than any that we have ever done. This is a tribute and honor to a great Michigan football player, the mellowest of the Mellow Men. His name was Butch Carpenter, and the man representing Butch is with me today. Welcome, Niko Blakely.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming to Brighton.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
How's things going?
Things are good. Things are good. In my last year of law school here at the University of Michigan, things are good. Can't complain.
That's good. Nico, how has Butch's legacy inspired you?
So I had to take pause there because it really has been a journey for me, I would say, throughout my life, from where I started to now being in law school, and then I guess stumbling upon the man, the myth, the legend that is Butch Carpenter, right? So I didn't know too much about Butch, or for that matter, any real prominent Black figures that went to the University of Michigan Law School until a friend told me that I should apply for the scholarship. And so, of course, I didn't really know too much about it, but then I started to do my research, and I just started to learn more about who this person was, right? Not only the student, but the athlete, the fearless man that really took on challenges head first. And thinking about that, applying and not necessarily thinking that I would win, but after winning the scholarship, it kind of identified to me that I might have similar characteristics, or I might embody similar things to Butch's spirit. And so with that being said, his legacy has kind of like pushed me forward and given me a vote of confidence, if that makes sense, as I pursue like my goals, my lifelong goals, and so on and so forth. So
that's great. Nico, what about Butch's family? Have you met any of the members?
Yes. So I met quite a few members. I met his brother, Brian Carpenter, a really cool guy. He was also a football player at the University of Michigan and went on to play in the NFL as well. I met Butch's wife and had very extensive talks with her as well, Miss Vivian Carpenter. And so it seems like through and through, they all have very consistent themes about his character, who he was, and what they remember about him.
Butch was a leader on and off the field and in this house. His maturity level was higher than all of us. I say had he lived, he probably would have been in the Oval Office before Barack Obama. I mean, seriously, he was just that kind of a guy.
I want you to know that we have a website that's called historic-7mellowmen.org.
When Butch died on February 2nd, 1978, the Black Law Students Alliance set up a scholarship fund in his memory, and that was 47 years ago.
Yeah, at just 27 years old, he was gone far too young. However, the legend lives on, and this has been such an honor to represent Butch, hasn't it, for you?
It has. It has taken on different, I guess, aspects of the scholarship, or what I never thought it would kind of like pan out to be like this, like getting to meet like all of his old teammates and his best friends. So it definitely has taken on like a role of its own.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like you, I've somehow got pulled in by these guys, and just part of the Butch Carpenter legacy is part of the Mellow Men. He was number 94. Actually, that's what you're wearing. I should have noticed. Sorry. The Flint Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Scholarship memorial for 46 years.
Yeah.
$1.6 million endowment fund administered by the Michigan Law School.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, eh, Nico?
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's pretty special.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want that? For a guy that young, boy. He was really loved by the Mellow Men.
For sure.
Could you explain your connection to Butch Carpenter?
Sure. So my connection to Butch Carpenter came by way of winning a scholarship. So before this, I had no real understanding of who Butch was, what he meant to the University of Michigan broadly, or to the law school specifically. After a friend basically told me that I should apply, I basically put my head down, built the best application that I possibly could, and submitted it. And so my connection to him came by way of the scholarship.
And what comes to mind when you hear the name Butch Carpenter? What comes to mind for you, Nico?
Yeah, if I had to sum it up in one word, it would probably be like legendary. It's one thing to make an immediate impact on your peers. It's another thing to leave a long-lasting impact on your peers, and one that others would want to honor you by way of endowing your scholarship, or just making the impact that you've had on them felt throughout their life's work. And that's something that I noticed when I got to speak to some of his fellow Mellow Men. A lot of them have the fondest memories of Butch. A lot of them have made it a part of their life's journey to honor him in different ways because he had that big of an impact on them. So with that being said, when I'm thinking about what comes to mind, it has to be just like legendary.
What's the consistent theme, if you look at a theme, as you've met people near and dear to Butch?
It would probably be a serious man who was fearless and extremely brave. Speaking of Reggie, his best friend, his closest friend, Reggie mentioned that whatever he put his mind to, he was going to do, just because he said he was going to do it. And so having that in mind, that kind of embodies what I mean by a serious person, someone that can put their mind to something and follow through. Fearless because, of course, not only was he fearless on the football field, but just in life. He not only was one of, the first black men to basically get his CPA here, but then to say, you know what, I'm going to go a little bit further and I'm going to, take on the reins of getting a law degree as well. To me, that is like nothing short of fearlessness. And so that's what I would attribute to the man known as Butch Carpenter.
Yeah, that's great. And your experience, your personal experiences coming from New York City to Ann Arbor, you and I got to spend a few minutes after last Thursday when we were in the big house down on the 50-yard line, kind of living a dream down there with all the Mellow Men except for Butch. And we were speaking on the way back, and I think I remember you saying to me, you're heading back to New York City, and I don't know if I had mentioned or exactly where it went. I remember you saying the quieter the pace here is, you've kind of gotten to like a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Ann Arbor was very different for me, a different feel, a different pace, definitely a transition period. When I first got here, I was very tense. I noticed that I was like extremely tense, and that's just I guess, what I've always embodied. So I never really noticed it until I came here. And then something literally within me was just like, why are you so tense? Like there's a peace, like there's a slower pace here that you can really take advantage of. And so you don't have to bring like any baggage from where you're from. And so I would contrast Ann Arbor and New York by saying New York is a very much so fast-paced, eat what you kill type of environment where people don't really stop to like smell the roses or just take a break. It's always very constant and we're never off. Coming here, I've been able to like go to parks and see greenery. Not saying that we don't have that back home in New York, but it's just a different vibe totally. So I definitely appreciate my time here in Ann Arbor.
Well, I'll tell you on a personal note, I like them both. I love to be in Boston and New York City and Chicago, and really, really love downtown Detroit. We always have fun down there, whether it's the Dawson Great Lakes Museum on Belle Isle or the aquarium on Belle Isle or Eastern Market where all the fruits and vegetables and Greektown and I could go on and on and on about Detroit. That if there's a lot of great places, and we've had a great mayor, Mayor Duggan. He's running for governor. Okay. He will probably be our next governor of Michigan. Nice. Spent some time with him in the last 6 months. He's a smart man. He came from Detroit Catholic Central, and then he was on, I think, president of the Detroit Medical Center, DMC, downtown Detroit. Nice. Took over as mayor. And, the guy just is loved by a lot of people. And he was embraced because he went to the homes and sat on the couches and around the kitchen tables with people. Mm-hmm. And he listened and talked. There's something about listening and talk. You can talk. Mm-hmm. But if you don't have those ears open, you might as well just be by yourself, I
agree.
This guy, Mayor Duggan, is a phenom, and we're gonna help him with this campaign. He's independent. Okay. The Democrats said he was too old. He's about younger than me. He's probably 60 some, but they just didn't want him. Okay. So they told him, you're too old. That was their excuse. They had somebody else in mind. Okay. But he just made Detroit rock. And the thing about Mayor Duggan is he decided he's super smart. He wants to fix the schools. He wants to go back to math and English and real social studies. Okay. You know what social studies is, Nico?
You can tell me.
I can. Yeah. My wife taught, because my wife pounds them into me. We go to Gettysburg. We go to Vicksburg. We go to Annapolis, where the Naval Academy. We visit historic places, Mackinac Island. Mm-hmm. We love historic places, and she taught it in Catholic schools for 25 years. Just like the Mellow Men. What this is about, where you're at, where you're coming, you can be a great conduit, and I can too, for these 7 Mellow Men, that they want to show the history of where they came from, the great families they came from.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Reggie was talking to me last night, his mom and dad and his sister. They were talking a lot about the great families, and how after football games in Ann Arbor, they'd all come back to the den of the Mellow Men.
Beautiful.
Oh, it's really beautiful. Yeah. I mean, and that's as a country where we need people sitting on the front porch and respectful, and that whole thing is. I hope we're heading that way.
Butch Carpenter, Alden, Butch Carpenter, young man from Flint. Yeah. And he was as good as they get. I came as my recruiting trip. Butch was with me on my recruiting trip. And he was always very close to me, and when he died, we were all devastated. But Butch's life is not, we've all remembered Butch, that's why to me he still feels alive. His legacy still carries on. It has carried on because of his scholarship. And now I'd like to introduce Niko Blakely, who is the Butch Carpenter Scholarship winner, please.
Thank you, Hey everyone, how you guys doing? Maybe I should lower this a little bit, a little vertically challenged. Yeah, this is good. This is good. Hi everyone, my name is Niko Blakely. I'm from New York City. I'm a third-year law student here at the University of Michigan Law School, and I'm happy to be. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Say it loud, bro.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm a third-year law student here at the University of Michigan. And I'm happy to be here to represent the Black Law Students Association as well as Butch Carpenter. I'm from New York City. Coming out here was a little difficult for me. This was a new setting, totally slower pace, which I've come to really appreciate. But overall, I struggled a little bit coming here. I dealt with food insecurity. I dealt with really not feeling like I belonged very much. And then somewhere along the lines came a friend who said, you should apply for the Butch Carpenter Scholarship Award. I had no intentions on applying. I really didn't know what it was about or who Butch Carpenter was. But something inside of me said, you know what? You should put your name in the bid and you should go after it. One thing about me, if I put my name on anything, I have to go after it with like all my heart. And so I did that. The Butch Carpenter Scholarship awards 3 first-year law students with scholarships, and I was graceful enough to win the first place award. And so through the years, I've noticed that it didn't only pay itself forward then, but it's paying itself forward now. I've gotten the opportunity to meet the Mellow Men. I've gotten the opportunity to speak with Ron Jess. I've gotten the opportunity to speak with Glenn and really learn and get the energy of the Mellow Men. One thing that I've consistently heard is that Butch Carpenter was not only a giant on the field, but he was a giant off the field. That's evidenced by him not only getting his CPA certification, which I also have. In addition to that, just being a law student and really going after whatever he put his mind to. And so, as you mentioned, Butch Carpenter's legacy, it lives on, stronger now than ever. At the law school, we noticed that event, the gala, as like the premier event of all law school events. And that is because of Butch Carpenter, his spirit, and who he was. And so, if anything, I am just proud to stand on the shoulders of a giant. And I just hope that going forward, I can embody everything that he was and everything that he meant to his loved ones. And just thank you so much for the opportunity to speak, and go blue.
Hope so.
So, Niko, your career path, other than football, is incredibly similar to Butch. Both CPAs, he attended Michigan Law School. What does that mean to you?
I actually did not find out that he was a CPA until maybe a year after I had won the scholarship, which is so ironic to me because I never thought it really had play. So I did know that he was very interested in basically shoring up and making sure that the urban economics from where he comes from was more on a better footing, I'd say. And so that's actually one of my life's goals as well, to take everything that I know and all the experiences that I'm having and bring it back to my community that isn't as, I guess, polished, or that doesn't necessarily have all of the bells and whistles that come by way of economics and finance. And I'd like to kind of benefit my community in that way. And so learning that he was a CPA, it kind of like gave me another vote of confidence, if that makes sense, because I was almost envisioning that I'm walking in the footsteps of someone who was on his way to do some of the same things that I want to do. So, yeah.
Well, when you say that, and I think when you told me, I had heard from one of the other guys that Glenn had been that. And then when you told me, it made perfect sense. You know, think about it. You were probably chosen not only because of that, but that was probably a huge part. They looked at your lives, and I'm sure that had something to do with, other than you're probably a great student and seem like a great guy.
That could be. Yeah, we don't get too much exposure as to like how the decisions were made.
Yeah.
But after learning about that, it kind of did like have some play in my mind. Like, yeah, maybe that has something to do with it.
So, Niko, what do you do for fun around Ann Arbor on the weekends, or is it 7 days a week for you?
It is pretty much 7 days a week for me. I'd probably say like to the average law student or just student in general here at the University of Michigan, I'm probably more on the boring side. So I find joy in going to the Arb and taking a walk and going to Burns Park and like swinging on the bench. I do like very basic things. Sometimes I shoot around. I play basketball as well. I had big hoop dreams growing up, and so that's definitely something that I hold near and dear to my heart as well. But other than that, like, you can probably find me at home. Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good to hang out at the house, and we do that when we can.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised, with my business, I'm a manufacturer's rep, so I spend it's our company, Jess Instrument Company, and we do this, and we have 3 kids and 6 grandkids playing hockey and lacrosse and football and soccer and every other sport known to man. And
Right.
So if someone tells you it gets easier or slower when you get older, no, absolutely not, man.
Okay.
If you get a day off, you just close that front door, pull the blinds, and go to the back of the house and chill out.
Right. That's good. That's good to know.
Oh, yeah.
That's good to know.
When you get the family going, you're going to have one, I suppose. Is that your goal?
That is my goal. Yeah, that is something that I want now, actually. Like,
Yeah.
so that's definitely a goal of mine.
Well, it'll come to you.
Thank
I'm
you.
sure you're a good guy. I must say this, every show we do, Nico, is for veterans, charities, and foundations. And basically, thanks to God for that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
That if you can't figure out a reason why you need to come and do these things,
Mm-hmm.
that's enough.
Right.
Because even if you look at the Mellow Men, what they've done, we'll talk about it later, but what they did after football and after Rose Bowl and after All-Pro and All-American and the Hall of Fame, Tom Darden, Cleveland Browns, Hall of Fame. After all of these things are put away, the spikes are thrown away, or
Yeah.
they've done more after than they did in football, which
Right.
pretty incredible.
After speaking with Tom, he mentioned, some of his endeavors after football, such as like being a registered financial advisor, I believe, also an agent. So, I think that football was just a platform for them to kind of like live out their life's journey overall.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, all you have to do is look at it. It's on paper. I've read it a few times, what they've all done. And Reggie McKenzie, what he's done in Detroit, and Glenn Dowdy, what he did out in Baltimore,
Yep.
and you can go on down, and maybe the biggest one of them all is Butch Carpenter. I
Yeah.
you got to be leaning that way a little bit. Eh?
For sure. I think that every win that they get it collectively, like as a unit, right? So they came in with a vision that they would all not only win in football, but win at school. They did that. They were able to share in those wins collectively. And now, life after football, they were able to basically do the same thing. So whether it's the Shake and Bake Center in Baltimore, I'm pretty sure that all of them take part in that win on Glenn's behalf. Whether it is, what Reggie has done in Detroit, same thing. So they probably all are able to hang their hat on having influence on each other and winning collectively, as they've always done.
Yeah, I'm sure. I get that feel. They're a fun group to hang out with.
Yeah.
It was really great to be with them last week and inside the stadium and what we talked about.
Yeah.
On a personal note, it has been a dream come true spending this time with you and all of these, really getting to know the Mellow Men of Michigan, Bo's Gridiron Sons, Bo Schembechler,
Mm-hmm.
fondly known as the greatest coach in the history of Michigan football. Although I think a lot of them, one of the funnier comments was when Glenn and BT went to Vietnam, and I'm sure you've heard this before, but they went to Vietnam and They were over there for, I think it might have been 3 weeks. And when they came back, they were kind of anti-Vietnam, anti-war. And it was the 60s, 70s, the march. Everybody marched and did stuff. But Glenn, he makes me laugh anyway, but he goes, yeah, Ron, the only difference from Vietnam and playing for Bo Schembechler was we didn't have any bullets, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Going to war. Yeah.
Yeah. You can see some of the way those guys go at it. All 7 graduated on time of the Mellow Men. Must give a really big thank you to Glenn Dowdy, Shake and Bake.
Absolutely.
He organized everything. And he pushes hard. We've done some of these in the past with him, and man, if you don't dot every I and cross every T, it's not going anywhere. We're into how many edits, Cam? 6th edit, 6th.
Wow.
On one show. That's. And if you haven't ever edited or been involved in it, it's really tricky is when you edit and you put things in or you take things out, and then you want to change something else, and you look at the original, and you say, well, this timestamp, and then this timestamp, and then you go to match the timestamps.
You can't.
They don't match. And I'll tell you, it's more work than you might think.
I know. I have a great respect for anyone that does what you guys do, so for sure.
Thanks.
I understand.
We try to do our homework, you know. So Shake and Bake organized Reggie McKenzie, Billy Taylor, Tom Darden, Mike Taylor, Mike Oldham, all great NFL players, and more importantly, all good men.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
absolutely.
are. They are. It's like there's some bond with those the 6 that are left. That's you just are around them, you can see it.
For sure. Yeah, I think they have been friends for 57 years or so, something to that effect. So I don't have nearly as many friends for nearly that long. My closest friends are probably my family members. So to have like individuals that you have stayed in touch with and like built lifelong bonds with is something that is like amazing to me.
Yeah, that's really great.
Yeah.
I mean, you've probably met some good friends in Ann Arbor, I'm sure, Nico.
Yeah, I've met a few.
Reggie McKenzie, I'm going to lean on him a lot for the rest of this, what we're talking about here, because talking to Glenn yesterday afternoon, Glenn Dowdy, he said, have you talked to Reggie? And I said, no, about Butch. And he said, he's the guy. He was as close as they were basically joined at the hip.
Yeah.
So Reggie, in the middle of the Lions game last night, we started talking, missed this whole second half basically. But he just said, big tough lineman, block for O.J. Simpson when they get 2,000 yards. Reggie, tough guy. And he basically said, I cried and I cried and I cried when Butch died. They were that close, you know? Like brothers.
Yeah, for sure.
And Butch kept everything together, unselfish, team player, back down to earth. I think Bo and them would say he kept the players down to earth, the egos and the selfishness. Butch wasn't having it, so I think he was probably wise beyond his time. You know?
For sure.
He played defensive end for Michigan. Did you ever see any of his football playing days? Any highlights or anything?
No, I haven't been able to find anything.
Really?
No, I haven't.
Oh, wow.
I haven't. I've just seen a bunch of pictures of him like in uniforms.
Yeah.
Like, wearing this jersey. So, but I haven't been able to see like him in action.
What are some of your future plans? I believe you mentioned a return to New York City is on the list.
Yeah. So the first plan is to graduate.
That'll help.
Is to graduate, pass the bar, and then go back home to New York City, where I'll be working at a big law firm, hopefully in corporate law, doing fund formation, such as like private equity and venture capital. And my plan really is to learn as much that I possibly can learn about the ins and outs of building funds as well as investing, in hopes that I could, at some point down the line, benefit my community by putting funds where they need to be and making sure that our resources, and when I say our, I'm talking about like my community, that our resources are put in the places that we need them to be for our future growth. And so those are some of my immediate and long-term goals, as well as to have a family and all that type of stuff as well.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How would those plans embody Butch Carpenter's spirit?
Yeah, I think that Butch Carpenter was on a similar trajectory where he wanted to work in law, but also benefit his community economically. And there's like a one-to-one crossover there between what I want to do and what he wanted to do. And so I think that I'm just standing on his shoulders in a sense. He kind of laid the groundwork by way of helping me to understand through his legacy that anything is possible. I'm almost positive there were many hurdles that he had to get over to get to where he wanted to be. And I think that understanding his story kind of brings me that much closer to embodying that vision. So
the tale of these men, these mellow men, vividly reflects these lessons. They came up in a time marked by social and racial reckoning alongside college football's rise, and their impact echoing beyond Ann Arbor, uplifting countless communities.
Yeah, that's really good. You just seem like everything's gone your way, and you benefited in a big way with this, but you're also respectful of it, and to be respected yourself for how you've taken advantage of a great opportunity.
yeah, absolutely.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
Nico.
Appreciate it.
I think this was I asked you to throw me a few things, and which was good because I knew you'd been involved with Butch's life and afterlife more than I even begin to scratch that surface. So have you? This is your question.
Okay.
Have you had any funny stories about Butch?
From what I heard, overheard from others, there's two that come to mind. One that I heard from Vivian, his wife. She told me that one day they were out, probably had dinner, and were just walking down the street, and a random guy came up and basically like tried to threaten them, maybe try to rob them. I'm not too sure. But what stood out to me was Vivian said that Butch literally grabbed this guy by the shoulders, lifted him up off the ground, moved him out of their way, put him down, and just continued to walk without a hitch. Like not a nerve was struck, like no fear whatsoever. Literally just lifted him up as if he was like maybe a toy, put him down, and just kept walking. Which was
The guy got the message.
yeah, I guess so. Because I heard that he was very, very big man. And I think speaking of Reggie, he mentioned that there was a time where he wanted to kick someone's behind. He wanted to kick someone's... Reggie wanted to kick someone's behind. And Butch kind of held him back and stopped him and kind of, saved that guy from getting a whooping, most likely. And also just a few common themes that I've heard, that he was like very willing to stand up for himself and others. Yeah. That that he was cool with. And so he was never afraid of maybe getting into a scuffle or something like that, which I always find funny because I'm kind of the same way.
Yeah, I talking to Reggie just for that hour, you can learn a lot about people. Actually, even sitting here, I've noticed what we've done so many of these now that I'll refer back to a saying or something that I heard, even with today, what's going to happen is there'll be something that you'll say about your life or about, we'll get an impression, and vice versa. But those are all great things, and especially because we only have good people on the show. We're not digging. We're not trying to humiliate anyone, embarrass anyone.
Right.
Yeah, I mentioned it to Mel Farr Jr. one time. I don't know if you've ever heard Mel Farr, the name.
I haven't.
Yeah.
It sounds familiar.
It was a big name in Detroit. His dad was the biggest car dealer in Michigan. In fact, he played for the Detroit Lions. He's from UCLA. I know his son, and his son was on the show. And just to drift onto that point for a second, Mel Farr was Mel Farr Superstar.
Yeah.
Car dealer, and he'd read a cape, and he'd fly in the air.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was, hey, buy a car from Mel Farr, Superstar. And he'd and away. But he was a halfback, great player for the Lions. And he at one time was the #1 black-owned business in the United States, the highest.
Wow.
Selling through all his dealerships.
Wow.
Ford was a big, obviously, because he played for the Lions. Ford's had him forever, owned the Lions.
Yeah.
So Mel Farr Sr. So getting back to, I kind of drifted off. What the point I was going to make with you was how we try to do this is, I think I was talking to his son, Mel Farr Jr. is in Atlanta. Now he played for Los Angeles in the NFL.
Oh, nice.
He played for UCLA. Great ball player. Played for Brother Rice here in Birmingham, Michigan.
Okay.
So how all that ties in was we were talking, and I said at one point halfway through we were just kind of not connecting so well. And I just said, you know, Mel, we try to do this like we're just sitting around a kitchen table.
Right.
And he got this huge smile on his face, and he said, yeah, you know, Ron, you've never met a stranger. And, you know, my son said that was the greatest compliment you could ever get from a guy. But in reality, that's kind of what we're talking about here is why not, you know, just keep it cool and do good for people.
Absolutely.
Have you heard any other things as far as, well, maybe this is more important.
Okay.
If you could have a talk with him and ask him any questions, what would it be now and why?
Ooh. I would probably ask him where he got his fearlessness from.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what was it? Like, we all go through a lot in life. Sometimes we can't point to the inception of a characteristic, meaning maybe at one point in time, someone told you something that was like unfavorable and you changed your ways. Sometimes you can't necessarily point back to that time after you have just, you know, embodied that characteristic. So I'd love to know, like, what was it? Was it his family structure? Did somebody, like, you know, tell him he couldn't do something at some point in his life and he said, you know, I'll prove you wrong? Like, you know, what was it that gave you that spirit of fearlessness? And I would ask that just because I'm very fond of asking people those questions around what made them who they are and like what built them to be who they are. And so just like if I would, you know, meet anyone else, I would ask them something similar. I would probably want to know that about him, like what gave him that aura and that spirit of fearlessness.
I think most of these guys that we're talking about are the 7 Mellow Men. I think there was something in that house and how they came together from all over the country. A few from Ohio, and you know from out there, and how they all they'll all tell you. It's kind of funny. Most all of them will tell you the same thing. It's just God brought us together, and we didn't fight. I think Reggie was the one who said that, but he said, well, we didn't physically fight. He said we had some heated arguments. Might have been BT, I don't know, but they managed to do that, and pretty amazing. Big guys, big tough guys who fight on the like mad, want to rip heads off and bite kneecaps on Saturday. Can go back there and be the Mellow Men.
Yep.
But they like music, and you know, they like to just chill and hang out when they when they had that time. He was special. Bo Schembecker counted on Butch. Everything Reggie says, he says he counted on him to keep the friction down. The Mellow Men Den, he was the leader, and the cohesiveness. I mentioned the word cohesiveness, and Reggie said that's the word. That's the word that he was able to get through to all the Mellow Men.
Right.
That he kept that.
Right.
And so. Yeah, I mean, nothing but good, solid praise for him. Nico, have you enjoyed your experience here in Ann Arbor?
Absolutely, hands down. One of the best experiences of my life, to be honest. Not only is it like just experiencing something different every single day, but being challenged at the same time. I always say to my peers, I look at all of them and I always call them rock stars and superstars because I really believe that. I really believe that these are like some of the brightest minds that are going to rule the world one day, hopefully for the better, right? And just being in that environment day in and day out, sharpening, my thought processes and like understanding where they've come from, what influenced them to be where they are. I don't think I would have gotten that experience had I not come to the University of Michigan.
This is the University of Michigan. Integrity and honor excellence. We are loyal Wolverines. Today, your football team is number one in the country, and it's on fire. Standing for Midwestern values, hard work, determination, and an enthusiasm unknown to mankind. University in the world. Students and athletes and professors achieving at the highest level. This is our legacy and our future. We are proud members of the Big Ten Conference in pursuit of national championship.
Just won the national
We have won more games than any team in the country. No one has won more. We believe in football. Championship football.
He hands on to Gallagher. Michigan touchdown! Let go, Billy! Shoelaces flopping in the wind.
We shy away from no challenge or opponent. We bow to no man. We bow to no program.
Mike Sanderson.
We are Michigan.
Michigan's a special place. There's no question. I mean, many people think it's the greatest university in the country and the world, and the town is all vibrant. I turn off onto Main Street coming from here in Brighton, and you get a little excited. It's kind of like going downtown Detroit on a personal note. When you get on Main Street in Ann Arbor, it's really cool. It's got that vibe to it. And it's funny, the dynamic for you. I mean, New York City is just, we talked about it all already, but that difference, and it almost surprised me a little. You wanted to go back to New York City. When I asked you that question in the car last Friday, you surprised me that, I want to go home. Is it
Yeah.
the family attraction
It's the
too?
family.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the family and the fact
You
that
miss them?
I miss them for sure.
Yeah.
I can definitely see myself at some, later point in time coming to or moving to a pace that is a little bit more similar to this one. But it's never been a place that I thought about like living long term or being long term. So my plan was always to return to New York. But after being here, it definitely helps me to understand why people would live in a place like this. It's just like very rich as how do I put it? It's like known as a small place, I guess, but it definitely has a rich culture, smaller than New York, relatively speaking, but definitely has a rich culture. So I can definitely see why people would, want to live here.
Yeah, there's a lot of towns around Ann Arbor, Dexter, Chelsea. You ever been to the Purple Rose Theater?
I haven't.
You've heard
I
about it.
haven't.
Jeff Daniels, the actor.
No, I haven't.
That's okay. I
yeah.
mean, you're busy, and it sounds like you're studying constantly.
Yeah.
But it's about 20 minutes, 30 minutes out of Ann Arbor. Jeff Daniels is a pretty famous actor. This is interesting. He had an opportunity, obviously, to live in Hollywood and out there. He was making the dough.
Right.
Everything was going good. Big time A-list actor. He's done some huge stuff.
Really?
Huge stuff. So he came back, opened up the Purple Rose Theater, loved the theater. He sings, plays the guitar, a great actor, writes books. He's just he's like a force of nature with what he does. People are attracted to him.
Okay.
He's like a magnet, and super liberal guy. And but when he came back here, the reason was he brought his family here was because what you just mentioned, the richness, the trees, the rivers, the four seasons, the more moderate, more conservative than what you're going to get in L.A. or, probably New York City too. What New York City has experienced now, we don't get political ever here, but it just seems like complete madness. In one sense, to me, this has been a capitalist country from the hop, as the hockey players would say, from the hop.
Yeah.
And you're talking about changing that. That's a pretty big deal to go to communism or socialism. I think people need to go back to the Mellow Men, go back to the foundation, really study what the difference is there, because there is a difference, But, Butch's friend Reggie, did you know they were in the same fraternity together?
Yes. Yeah, I did.
They pledged their sophomore year.
Kappa Alpha Psi, I think. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
PSI.
Yeah.
Psi. I sell pressure gauges and thermometers for we get PSI.
Pressure washing, yeah.
Yeah, I know. But they were friends from freshman year orientation, just like brothers.
Yep.
Flint Southwestern Butch, Highland Park, Michigan Reggie.
Yep.
They were partners. They did everything together.
Yeah.
Which
yeah.
So I can see why old Big Reggie would bawl like a baby when he lost him at so young, because Reggie was saying yesterday, he said for those 4 years when he got out of Michigan, he was playing for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
He said Butch came out and visited him quite a bit.
Beautiful.
For games.
Nice.
And even though it was 30 below zero and 8 feet of snow.
Right. Right. It's true friendship.
Yeah, no doubt. What does Michigan Law School think about Butch Carpenter, and how has his legacy been preserved?
It's been preserved in a great way. I think Butch Carpenter, as well as its conjunction or connection to the Black Law Students Association, is one of the biggest movements that we have at the University of Michigan Law School.
Really?
So every year we have a gala where we put on and we award the scholarships to 3 worthy students. And year after year, we hear that it is like the event. It is the gala. And so what the University of Michigan Law School has done is make sure that the people that plan the gala, I was one that planned the gala last year with another recipient, Jamie Fisher, and another recipient, Tanis El-Balat. The way that they try to support us by way of, giving us basically whatever resource we need, introducing us to the family and making sure that we can keep that connection to really preserve the legacy, I think is just a testament to how much the law school appreciates, Butch Carpenter in general, and what he meant to the student body. So the school has done a great job at making sure that event stays on each and every year, for sure.
Yeah, awesome. What's the legacy of Butch as it pertains to breaking down barriers in the law school?
To be quite honest, I don't think he had that much time to make any structural changes to things that were going on at the University of Michigan Law School when he went here, because he passed away during his second semester of 1L, which basically means that he only had 3 full months of law school prior to the beginning of his second semester. And so I'm pretty sure that apart from just meeting everyone and being a team player in the classroom, he really didn't get too integrated into law school yet. But I think that one thing he would have definitely been known for is the leader that we spoke about, briefly. Just being an overall leader, being someone that would brighten up a room, or you can feel his presence when he walked in. And then, I guess, leading or lending to any structural changes that he felt was necessary at the time.
Well, one of the things the 6 guys would say also, and talking to him at different times, was that he was that leader that you see who he's not yapping and talking all the time, but when he is, everybody's listening. That guy,
right?
So it seems like the only setback Butch Carpenter had in his short life was not being drafted like the other Mellow Men, and that was a real bummer for him, that all the success and all the honors and all the accolades and what people thought of him, his reputation, all those great things, that hurt him, because that's just what Reggie was talking about. Nico, how has spending time with the Mellow Man impacted you?
Oh, it's been really cool. Getting to speak to Glenn a bunch of times, even over this past summer, was really cool. Getting to speak to BT and Tom and Reggie, and really getting to see them as humans. I think for a long time they were looked at as just sheer athletes, right? Like individuals that are willing to put their bodies on the line and creating legacies as machines. But getting to see them as just human beings, cracking jokes with them and getting to see them in their element, even cracking jokes on each other and laughing and stuff like that. It has definitely influenced me to want to find a group of friends similarly, that I could have long lasting bonds with as well. So being around them, it definitely impacted me for the better as it pertains to understanding what relationship and what friendship is all about.
Yeah, we had something at the tunnel there just before you and I left together. Well, actually, it was going into the field. So we're coming down, and you got the team, you got all this stuff. And the most famous tunnel in the whole world, you're walking down it. And I'm following Reggie, not Reggie, it was Billy Taylor. I'm following him down the tunnel, and so I said, I'm going to film him. So I just grabbed my camera, something different. So I start following him for a second and say, "Hey, Billy, how is it to be coming down this tunnel again?" And he says, "Oh, it's great, Ron. I love it." I go, "Must be a lot of memories here for you." He goes, "Yeah, there's a lot of memories. As we're coming down, I'm filming behind him, and he's taking pictures, and it total light. So you come out of this dark tunnel, this beautiful day, blue skies, sunny, gorgeous. And I kind of walked away from him. He said it was great to be there. And right as sitting there side by side was Reggie McKenzie and Mike Taylor.
Yeah.
And I said, I still got on film. I go, oh, two legends, Reggie McKenzie and Mike Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just ready to put the phone away. I set it kind of, I think he let it down a little, or went over here. And Mike Taylor, he can be a little gruff sometimes. He's all leaned over in his chair like this, and he's leaning over. And he goes, just two old guys now.
Mm.
I said, what'd you say? He goes, it was just funny, the moment,
Yeah.
the egos are long gone. These guys are 75 years old. They're just putting their pants on and hoping that the urologist has good news, and there's you keep the heart and the cancer and all this other stuff at bay.
Right.
And but just really good-hearted.
Absolutely.
Nico,
Yeah.
anything you'd like to add? We're about to wrap this up, the tribute to the great Butch Carpenter. Any last words you'd like to say?
I'd like to say maybe to Glenn Dowdy, thank you so much for the opportunity and for connecting us, allowing me to be a representative of Butch Carpenter. I don't think that I could measure up to everything that I've heard, but it's been such an honor. And I think that the legacy will continue to go on, and I'm just happy that I could stand on the shoulders of a giant and try my best to live out my dreams while embodying his spirit as well. So that's probably what I'd have to say.
So Nico, it's have a loaf of zucchini nut bread time.
Okay.
Courtesy of my great wife Michelle. We've been married
My mom's name
45
is
years.
Michelle.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah, my mom's name is Michelle. Sorry to cut you off.
No,
but I was
no,
just
you're
like, oh.
cool. You really. It's so good they chose you for that award. You've earned it, and you're just from the moment we met. I appreciate you're a great guy, and
Thank you.
I wish you all the best. And I hope you come back to Michigan at some point. And Brighton's a nice town if you can get around here and check it out.
Okay.
But anyway, this Michelle made for you.
Wow.
Cam, you can zoom in on that zucchini walnut bread my wife makes, and it's phenomenal.
Wow. Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah,
I appreciate you. Thank you.
She's a good woman. But again, thank you, Nico.
Thank you so much.
Nice seeing you again.
Thank you, Ron.
History. Historic Mellow Men of Michigan. The 7 Mellow Men of Michigan. Historic Mellow Men of Michigan.
From the gridiron to Wall Street, there is no end.
Mellow Men of Michigan.
The 7 Mellow Men of Michigan.
Historic Mellow Men of Michigan.
From ballers to doctors to businessmen.
7 Mellow Men of Michigan.
Historic Mellow Men of Michigan.
Historic Mellow Men of Michigan. The 7 Mellow Men of Michigan. Historic Mellow Men of Michigan.
2-time Big Ten champion. The 7 Historic Mellow Men of
Historic Mellow
Michigan.
Men of Michigan. Historic Mellow Men of Michigan.
The blue and the maize, they will
7 Mellow
defend.
Men of Michigan.
The 7 Mellow Men of Michigan.
Mellow Men of Michigan.
Historic.